The audacity of motherfucking a nigga who goes by the name Kung Fu Kenny to attack the GOAT.
Hey man, we here. Today we're gonna be reacting to this vid. I know the battle was a couple months ago. Shout out to this guy that made this video. You know what I mean? We're gonna react to it together. Cause I feel like this battle, man, shift the trajectory, right, of hip hop for the next 20 years. And I think it's good. You know, this is a dope video to react to. So let's go. Let's get at it. Let's get straight from the beginning where it started.
Did I hear somebody say OVO? The audacity of
I low-key feel like Act is like one of the reasons like Drake really lost the battle. You know what I mean? He's low-key one of the reasons Drake lost. Because people dislike his take so much when it comes to the Drake and Kendrick during the battle. This seems to move towards more, you know, towards Kendrick than Drake. Because of him. The way he was talking about like Drake and shit.
motherfucking a nigga who goes by the name Kung Fu Kenny to attack the GOAT. Now my favorite part is coming up.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Deep down on the bottom of his fucking heart, he knows that Kendrick smoked Drake. He knows that. Like, he definitely knows Kendrick smoked Drake.
Symbolic.
On June 5th of 2024, PG Lang and Free Lunch teamed up to announce the Pop-Out, Ken and Friends, being held at the Forum in Inglewood, California on Juneteenth in celebration of Black Music Month. It was to be headlined by Kendrick Lamar, making it his first public performance since the end of the Great Rap War of 2024, with promoters describing it as his victory lap celebration. Tickets went on sale June 7th, instantly selling out with a queue of over 100,000 people eagerly waiting for a chance at a seat. Hours later, Amazon Music announced that the event will be live streamed on Prime Video and Twitch in part of the Forever the Influence initiative, which celebrates the contributions of Black artists, producers, and songwriters who have shaped cultural landscapes through their music.
Yep.
The Pop-Out was scheduled to be held 2 weeks later on June 19th, a very special
I don't want to pause it too much. I've watched I've watched it twice now. The whole show. Beautiful.
day, one which celebrates the ending of slavery in the United States.
Man, them boys had that shit on though. Don't get it fucked up. Them boys had that shit on.
It's a holiday that commemorates Black culture, art, and their resilience against hardships. But in all fairness, it's really the true Independence Day. Pairing that with June being Black Music Month, this concert was shaping up to be a cultural landmark for hip hop. For the West Coast,
He beat Drake with culture, bro. Like from the beginning to the end of the battle. It was just culture after culture after culture after culture. I mean, Drake couldn't, you know what I mean? I don't think no matter what he did, he can't really beat the guy, man. He can't really beat him.
and most importantly, for the people. But knowing all that, we still had no clue what the show was going to be about. All the information we had was from the cover art, showing the bumper of a car graffitied with a mural of roses, a pair of dice, and praying hands. Street art that you'd probably see while walking through LA. His friends weren't yet named. No album announcements, no set list, no word from Kendrick. But yet, we still had one clue.
Still no word from
The
Kendrick.
Pop-Out was in reference to his song, Not Like Us.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show me. Pop out and show me.
And with that one slight reference, the
God.
audience knew that this night was going to be unlike no other.
Yep.
The tickets were originally sold at an affordable price. However, scalpers purchased a bulk of those tickets, reselling them on Ticketmaster for insane prices of $900
Crazy.
up to $1,500 per seat. But the show's still selling out.
Bro.
During that time, his back catalog of music shot up by almost 50%. He had arguably 5 of the best hit records that came out this year, and was running off the victory of the Great Rap War, doing it all without a Drake feature. Kendrick's burial of Drake and subsequent revival of the West.
Well, he don't have a Drake feature. I never thought about it. He don't have a Drake feature though. Drake got a Kendrick feature though. Holy shit. Niggas that Kendrick deadass revived the West Coast from the dead.
West Coast sound was instrumental in bringing hype to this event. And it'd
Nah,
be
stop
wrong
playing, man. Shout out to the West. Shout out to the West, man. Blue Bloods. They got some dope ass artists out there though. Shout out to them boys.
to think otherwise. For years, Kendrick Lamar and Drake have been in this sort of Cold War, sending subliminal shots towards each other, but nothing too major.
Aha.
However, it was then reignited with the release of Like That, turning this decade-long feud into a global phenomenon, cemented as the Great Rap War. Drake responded with push-ups and tailor-made freestyle, having Kendrick fire back with Euphoria and 616 in LA. Drake
616
then
is
hit a
dope.
huge 3 to cut down the lead to 42, releasing Family Matters, disrespecting Kendrick's whole family and close friends, celebrating for 37 minutes before being murdered by Meet the Grams. At the funeral, Kendrick pissed on Drake's leg, eating good food and celebrating with Not Like Us, finally ending with Drake shooting himself in both feet with the Heart Part 6, landing himself in the very position he desperately fought to get out of. We've discussed the entire war at length before, so I'm not going to get into all that, because it truly wasn't about all that. The pop-out was a celebration of Kendrick Lamar and his West Coast friends. It was in the name. But the ultimate goal was to bring all of us together. The event was held at the Maze Bank Arena in Inglewood, California, which is notably right next to the SoFi Stadium that could have held an even bigger crowd. But Kendrick specifically chose the forum for its rich history and its intimate nature, which allowed the audience to be as close to the stage as possible. According to one of the workers who posted on Reddit, the show that Kendrick put on was without a doubt the most insane shit I've ever seen, and I'd be lying if I said I was damn near in tears throughout the whole goddamn show. The doors to the venue opened at 3 p.m., but fans were patiently waiting outside in the parking lot from as early as 9 a.m. People were attending because there's honestly nobody better than Kendrick to bring out the community for the purpose of Juneteenth. That it's for the city, that he speaks to and for the people, and most importantly, he's the embodiment of the culture.
Yes,
To the fans attending, Kendrick was an inspiration, positioning
He
himself
bad,
to
though.
be a leader in the black community, someone unifying them to celebrate black history, black culture, and someone they could relate to on a systemic level. It was bringing people together that were normally feuding. It's not even about love and hate, it's actually just all about good vibes.
True.
Everyone waiting outside seemed to be having a good time, with pictures and videos showing just how happy they were celebrating Juneteenth, Black Pride, and the spectacle they're soon about to see. They were popping out from all across America. They had clean fits, they were looking their best, and they were all ready to witness a part of history.
Why not spend it with Kendrick? Bro, we black. He's a proud black man. Everything he do is for the culture. For the culture.
The culture.
Culture, yeah. That's how you beat Drake, man. Culture,
Him
bro.
being unapologetically black because I'm a part of the culture. It felt like I was obligated.
You know, sharing the
Pop out.
culture. It's only right we come out and support and show love the same way because we for
Facts.
the culture.
Black American folks need to be celebrated and respected for what they contribute to music, culture, all of it.
As time grew closer to the opening act, more information started leaking to the general public. Roddy Ricch tweeted out, "It's like income tax day in LA today," confirming his spot as one of Kendrick's friends. Roddy was in Paris for its fashion week, already having spent tons of money there. But he couldn't miss it, and that it was bigger than him.
For me, it was like, I know everybody was there, but for them to reach out and be like, man, you got to be there.
A part of it.
You know, that was like bigger than anything.
Yeah, and no
You know?
disrespect because everybody
Hell
didn't
yeah.
get the call.
No,
You know,
not
yeah.
everybody, but
Yeah, but
the
no,
homies.
but
you
I'm
know what
talking
I mean?
about
The
so when you
homies.
get the call, it's like it's special.
Right,
It's
right.
different, bro.
What happened? Trying to stop us?
Kendrick wanted the show to feel like some real hood shit, and it was, quoted as feeling more like a block party instead. Rappers
Yep.
were outside of their trailers hanging out. There were Pyrus sharing drinks with Crips. The fans outside were showing off their custom merch, and believe me, there was a lot of creativity in that. Kendrick brought out the whole city, and they were just there to have a good time. The original Dom Kennedy, a rapper and LA native, had never seen something like this in his lifetime, especially in the music space. Just shows the power of being an
Yeah.
artist.
Facts. What's up with this clip? What's up with this clip, man?
At Take 5, you stay in your car because we're faster than you think.
Oil changes
Gotta
done.
get some ad blockers,
Fans
man.
were greeted by a booth that had the official merch, but with one standing out the most. It was obviously the plate of fried rice from Newhall King, sadly missing the dip sauce and the blammy. But under the plate stood 3 careful words. 3 words that have driven this entire event, this
Not like
entire
us.
cultural movement, and seemingly becoming an anthem for some people. It was everywhere. Brands were capitalizing off the beef. Other rappers were playing it at their shows. Clubs were throwing on a new remix each night. It was heard in bar mitzvahs, kids' birthday parties, in the streets, at weddings, stadiums. Kiki Palmer started dissecting the bars. We even had interactions like these.
Let me hear you say OV ho. Say OV ho.
Yeah, that was clown dude, man. That was clowning dude, man.
Step that way. Are you
Yet prior to the event, they never badmouthed
Are we
Drake,
live?
besides the obvious diss tracks. According to DJ Head, the opening act of the show, this was pro-us. It wasn't anti-anybody. The pop-out was narrated by E40, who was grateful to be included in one of the biggest nights in hip-hop history. He pre-recorded all of his lines as soon as he got the call from Kendrick,
Kendrick, we
rushing to a
need you.
hotel after
The hip
landing in
hop
DC,
savior.
saying this was a historical moment for the West Coast, and that he
I ain't
was
gonna, hey,
glad to
hold
brought
on,
some
man. We
authentic
can't.
game.
We can't just do that. I feel like Drake put up a little good fight, but that shit was funny. Kendrick, we need you. Hip hop savior. I was a clowning though, bro. It was a good fight, but he couldn't fuck with Kendrick though.
Game to it.
Oh shit!
Not only did Kendrick make it a day for the people and for the culture, he also made it a day to celebrate the legends and newcomers of the West Coast, but more specifically the Compton area.
Yep.
DJ Head wasn't as widely known as the other 2 headliners, but he's a legend of LA in his own right, becoming known as the Coast Guard and dedicating his life for the betterment of LA communities. He's personally known Kendrick since 2008, and it made sense to add him in. He was just
Yep.
grateful to be there. And we're grateful that he was there because DJ Head gave his flowers to a full generation of West Coast artists.
Facts.
Starting off by introducing Remble,
Remble.
taps his shoulder so that
I just tapped his shoulder, so I know that he is touchable.
Now, it wouldn't be fair to the organizers of the event or to your time if I go over each and every set that happened during the show. So what I recommend you do is that after watching this video,
Watch it.
you watch the entire pop-out on your own time, as I think it's something to experience and something that can only be appreciated in full.
Damn, I don't think he ain't fucking with LeBron after that shit though. And that nigga mad.
But with all that being said, for
I was
45
mad,
minutes,
man.
DJ Head brought out a lot of LA rappers, with some notable performances coming from the Blue Bucks Clan, Kalon For Real,
Yeah.
Ray Vaughn, the Cuzzos, Jay Worthy, Jason Martin, Westside Boogie, and
Yeah.
Shoreline Mafia.
That
It
shit
was
was
pretty
hard, man.
unreal seeing the amount of Bloods and Crips sharing one stage, unified for this one historical moment, and all of them really did their thing, giving the crowd a show of a lifetime.
Fine. See him and be like, huh, nigga? Huh? Give a fuck what? Dr. K, they hop up in my lane, should be looking way different through the $1,000 flames.
DJ Head ended off
Yeah,
the
boy, we
opening
cooking,
act
man.
by bringing out the legendary Tommy the Clown,
Clown.
the inventor of the clowning dance style, which eventually evolved into
Father of
crumping.
Crunk.
Tommy the Clown is an LA community leader,
I didn't know
changing the
that.
lives of children around him by teaching them how to dance, which got them away from drugs and gang activities and onto stages like these. Tommy the Clown gained legendary status hosting weekly dance battles, then gaining a loyal following from the documentary Rise, and has now performed for Madonna, Pamela Anderson, and Cedric the
Who's,
Entertainer. On stage, he'd invite his talented crew to start crumping while doing a few dance moves of his own, overall showing the crowd a fun time and easing the tensions backstage. Vince Staples was one LA native we failed to see during the show, and when asked about the Drake-Kendrick feud, he noted that it's taken away from real conversations about record labels trapping young artists. More specifically, rappers from the hip-hop genre. They're blocking them in 360s, and how they're taking away money from those artists by breaking up their own relationships with streaming services.
That's crazy.
Hey, who you think winning between Drake and Kendrick?
Nah.
It's going up on social media. Don't trip. I got your back, bro.
You don't want to know how I feel
Huh?
about that shit, bro.
All right, look, get with me after the.
You really want to know how I feel about that
How
shit?
you feel?
I want to know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'm signed to Universal, right?
Yeah.
I've been signed to Universal since I was 17. I haven't got a back end. That means when you turn in an album, they give you payment. I haven't got a back end since 2017, 18.
God damn.
You got record labels destroying their relationships with TikTok, Spotify, things that pay out artists because they want to start their own shit. So then we getting priced out of our contracts. We getting priced out of our imprints. There are no labels basically that are incentivized to sign black music, and it's happening in front of our eyes. And while Taylor
All right, damn, bro. Like, you gotta find a way to do somebody. I hate when niggas do and say shit like this. There's like hella niggas in the music industry, bro. Get together and make a change. Get together and make a change, bro. I don't want to hear all that this shit. Get together and make a change. Make a plan. Put a plan, bro.
Niggas is on the internet arguing with each other about some rap shit.
Put a plan, bro.
So that's how I feel about it.
Vince Staples was keeping it real, saying he wanted better for black music and that streaming companies are taking advantage of situations like these to profit.
But
For
sometimes it's
example,
not the right
Billboard
place for that,
Spotify
bro.
used that Herald Square. But had Vince known that Tommy the Clown was performing, he would have canceled his tour. He's been waiting to crumb since 2002. After DJ Head and Tommy the Clown, we switched to a more familiar face, DJ Mustard, a key player in this whole war, producing Kendrick's most commercial diss track, Not Like Us. In an interview with XXL Magazine, DJ Mustard gave us the story behind the making of the song. Mustard sent him 3 beats on April 6th, but Kendrick never followed up, only hearting it. DJ Mustard claimed he heard the song when we all heard it, being surprised by all the texts he was receiving from his manager and close friends. He played it all the way to his plane, got to Vegas, and played it for the show that very night.
Second thing you might not know is I heard the song when everybody else heard it. I never heard it before. I wasn't in the studio with them. I had never heard that song, so when everybody else heard it, I heard it. When I was making it, I was
Mysterious guy,
in the back
man.
of my head is what would Dr. Dre do if Lil Jon was in the studio and they was collabing on a beat? That was my thought process.
So it'd only be right for Kendrick to invite DJ Mustard as a second act, and boy did he pop out, showing off some of his classic beats and proving his status as a radio legend. And again, while I can't play most of it due to Amazon Music copyright, his set highlighted the hitmakers of LA, showing how deep and influential LA scene has really been.
Yeah, them boys was turning up, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Mustard's
That
first
shit was
guest on
hard, bro.
stage was an 18-year-old 310 baby, who gained mainstream success for his track Soak City, which he was performing for his prom literally like weeks prior. This kid just graduated high school and was now performing for DJ Mustard and Kendrick, and the spotlight on him for that one moment gave him tons of credibility, and we'll hopefully see him on track to an even more successful career. Blast
Yeah,
is
shout out
another
to the boys.
underappreciated artist from LA,
He's
having
fire,
recently collaborated with Kendrick on Mr. Morale. But on stage, he was serenading us with Mr. Who Pussy Is This? She said dollar sign. We then get a blast from the past when Don Kennedy came around, wanting no problems and wanting everyone to just have fun. Compton native, the internet's own Steve Lacy made a surprise appearance, finally having
was
an
crazy.
audience that appreciated his music.
That's crazy.
Performing both of his hits, Static and Bad
People was
Habits,
turning up, man.
having one of the longer sets, mostly because he kept telling the audience to
See that shit?
but then surprising all
Hey,
of us,
hey,
how the
hey,
creator
hey,
took
hey,
the
hey,
stage,
that shit was
performing his
fire as
commercial
fuck,
hits,
bro.
Earthquake and What's Your Name. Although LA has always been a big part of Tyler the Creator's life, he wasn't really known for it. He was more of an internet persona. But today, he was there to put on for his city, and finally stamped himself as a figure for the West Coast. Sadly, their collectives, Odd Future and the internet didn't get to make an appearance on stage, but Steve Lacy and Tyler represent the creative art that can come from the streets of LA, and the cultural influence they can have themselves. Tyler was a fashion icon. There's a reason why people started buying Vans and Supreme again, but he also inspired other artists like Billie Eilish and Kevin Abstract from Brockhampton. He changed the perception of how people viewed Grammy Awards, and with all due respect, he did that all in his own weird-ass way, not bending to any rules. We've seen the gang culture, the excellent lyricists, the record breakers, but we're finally noticing how influential LA's alternative culture has been to music. Tyler
Boy,
the
the script
Creator
though,
and Steve
bro.
Lacy have definitely curated a sound that
Shit.
most people now embrace, and seeing them side by side with all these other LA artists makes you really appreciate all that the West Coast has given us. But to those that have given it their all, the culture gives right back, with DJ Mustard paying an emotional tribute to Nipsey Hussle, a
Yeah.
West Coast icon who
Rest in
was
peace,
tragically
Nipsey.
murdered in front of his own store.
Rest in peace,
Although
Big Dog
Nipsey
Nip.
was an amazing community leader, it didn't erase the streets he grew up in, forever being immortalized in West Coast culture and continuing to live on through his music and influence. For the young kids growing up in these streets, music was their safe haven away from drugs, gang culture, and potentially getting killed.
And now that you look back at the battle and shit, bro, I knew it personally. I knew there's no way like Drake was gonna beat this guy. Like absolutely zero chance. It's not even based off of like it is based on rap skill, but just the aura and the energy, no Diddy, around Kendrick or the type of music you bring out. There's no way Drake was gonna even be able to like fuck with that. Not even a little bit, bro. Not even a little bit.
To all those on stage, it was their form of expression, their form of escape. But sadly, that same music we play has taken the lives of many, many rappers. We lost Takeoff, PNB Rock, Drakeo the Ruler, who probably would have been on that stage right now.
Facts.
Young Dolph, Pop Smoke, Juice World, X, Mac Miller, Lil Peep, King Von, FBG Duck, half of Chicago's drill scene, half of Jacksonville's rappers. Like, as I'm writing this script, Fulio was shot and killed, and ultimately, while he did disrespect a lot of people when he was alive, it's still another tragic case of a young rapper's death.
It's crazy.
And of course, I'm not saying we lost everyone to the streets, or that everyone I listed is tied to them, but that the culture they rap about, the gangs, the drugs, the violence, that all really does catch up to you.
Yeah,
The pop out was to celebrate
Too
those
much
that have
death, bro.
thankfully survived all that. Those who were able to make a name out of their hardships, becoming bigger than their tragedies. Nipsey's tribute was beautiful, surely being followed up by performances from content hitmakers Roddy Ricch and YG. For Roddy Ricch, he prioritized his friendship with DJ Mustard and popped out for the city of LA. No regrets for missing the high fashion at Paris Fashion Week. DJ Mustard finally brought out his longtime collaborator YG, with this feeling more like a chess move since we know Drake shouted him out on Family Matters.
You know who really bang except my nigga YG.
By all accounts, YG
Family
and
Matter
DJ
was-
Mustard put the West Coast
Like, Family Matter was tough though, y'all. That shit was hard.
down on
Like,
radios for years
Got shit on by Meet the Grams though.
in the 2010s, most likely influencing a lot of the people that were on stage, especially with artists like Remble and OGZ. YG played hit after hit, including Who Do You Love, which, featured Drake, but sadly, due to a minor issue, he just couldn't pop out. YG already took a stance on Weirdo, leaving two other set bangers to talk about.
You know who really bang except my nigga Chuck T. You know who even bang except I did CB.
So, Chris Brown was seen dancing at a club listening to Not Like Us, so there's that. But the
Yeah.
strippers were actually holding it down for Drake. Sadly, we were left wondering when the game would bring out his poll. But he seemingly sided with Drake when he posted their track.
Nah, he trying the game with this one, bro. Get it back. Get back, game. Get back, dog.
Energy on his Instagram story. He'd addressed his absence in a 17-minute long video uploaded to Instagram, giving
I saw
props to
I saw the video, bro. He didn't even say anything, though, bro. He was just yapping away, saying shit.
Kendrick for putting the West Coast back on the radar, but he started making the moment more about himself, finally clarifying that Drake was his brother while Kendrick was his homie. When you're shaking this much ass for Drake, you can't really wonder why you're left out of moments like these, and to be fair, no one was trying to see a Magic Mike performance that night. With everyone rapping along to YG's Big Bank, it proved how consequential Mustard was to the West Coast sound. And with that, it concluded the first half of the show. It was a tribute, a love letter, and a celebration for the LA rappers who've been putting on for their city, which finally
Yeah, that
winds
shit
us
was
down to the
not-
last act, or what we better came to know as the Red Wedding.
The Red
E40
Wedding.
gracefully introduced Kendrick to the stage, but before he went out there, DJ Head told him, "Bro, when you go out there, own the moment. This ain't about nobody. This is your moment. Own that shit." Kendrick replied with,
Say
"Say
less.
less."
Facts.
Appearing from the ground up,
He
cloudy,
locked in already,
surrounded
bro.
by red lighting and fog, and setting the mood of his first act by first performing Euphoria.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. This was fucking amazing. You had to be there live, you know. I wasn't there live, but during the moment, you know what I mean, I was clocked in. I was locked in, bro. I couldn't miss this though.
Which started off a bit grounded, but as the crowd started singing along, we saw the energy shift into what became a full-blown pyrotechnic spectacle.
Accepted. Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but FUBU never had been a collection. I make music that electrify 'em. You make music that pacify 'em. I can double down on that line, but spray this time. Random acts of kindness. Know you're a master manipulator and a habitual liar too. But don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truth about you.
Kendrick immediately came dripped out, working with the stylist Taylor McNeil to pay homage to Tupac Shakur. Wearing a red hoodie, a white tee, his own custom-made PG Lang 5950, and it was all reminiscent of Tupac's look at the 1994 Source Award show. But what turned most heads were actually his shoes, the OG Nike Shox. Not for it being cool or anything, but because they haven't been seen on a pair of feet since like the 2000s. What the fuck? Twitter users started declaring them as the new black Air Force Ones, calling it the new symbol of hate. Kendrick wasn't here to play around. His fit was a hood rich way of saying,
beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching.
Not only that, he had dick in his mouth. Dick Gregory, famously known for his comedy-style political activism back in the 1960s, in which he became a leader during the civil rights movement. His teeth were looking nice, with the description of the post having words I've only ever used while playing 2K My Team. Lastly, to complete the look, he was seen sporting a cross chain made by Ben Baller. That cost more than my fucking house and car put together. But regardless, he did change the lyrics of Euphoria to say,
give me Tupac, read back, and I might give you a little respect.
Obviously, he wasn't being genuine here. That bridge has long been burnt. But Drake stands immediately took to Twitter, calling for Drake to burn Tupac's ring instead, continuing the war they've waged on hip-hop artifacts. Although Mr. Morale was his most recent album, he didn't play one song from it. The energy in the air wasn't calling for that, and Kendrick knew it. It was in his DNA. He was in his element, and we knew that this night was gonna be alright. Kendrick's aura, his stage presence, the pyrotechnics, the lighting, the crowd knowing every single word, it was electrifying to say the least. The venue itself provided a very intimate setting, with the general population mixing in with celebrities of all nature. And Kendrick opted to have no elevated risers for special guests, so everybody was just celebrating it together. Besides the rappers performing, we saw a tremendous amount of familiar faces, including LeBron James, RDC World, The Weeknd, who takes every chance he can to spite Drake, DeMar DeRozan, who thankfully escaped Toronto and probably Chicago, the certified Seawalker, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, who probably started ducking when Kendrick brought up Tupac's ring, Rick Ross, who might have been honestly just screaming out white boy and BBL Drizzy that entire time.
You got 48 hours, white boy. If you got Ricky Rose money, ain't none of my niggas winning foreclosure. Come on, white boy. I'm finna bust a bottle. White boy, don't do stunner.
Like it's always like he's always promoting some shit though. So he's not yapping for no reason. He's always like promoting some shit. Shout out to Rick Ross.
Like that? Come on, man.
Rick Ross.
What happened to that? 48 hours. The countdown has begun.
Rhapsody, Chica, Rosalia, and Northwest all popped out, with North most likely being sent by Kanye West. Beautiful big titty butt naked woman SZA was playing double agent, hiding from all the cameras while Chloe Bailey was actively filming the night as it went on. And there's definitely a lot more people I missed on, but that's to give you the understanding of who was there.
Everybody
However,
was out
that
there,
night was a
bro.
bit more special than the celebrities attending, as it was a night Black Hippie finally reunited on stage since Kendrick's departure from TDE back in 2022. After taking a trip down memory lane, Kendrick invited J-Rock to the stage for his legendary verse on Money Trees.
That shit was hard, bro. That shit was fire as fuck.
J-Rock was the first rapper to hold it down for TDE, becoming their earliest hitmaker with his classic Hood Gon' Love It going platinum on GTA radios, and the track King's Dead becoming a certified meme classic. but on stage the two of them would go masterfully back and forth with their verses. After having the crowd freak it, Kendrick toned it down a little, calling Solo onto the stage. Ab Solo. And throughout the night, Kendrick was heard stuttering here and there, but when he put his hands on Ab Soul, it was like he powered up, instantly locking in and rapping 616 in LA like it was ripped straight through the studio.
Off-white sun seeker had the marina. Fuck a phantom, I like to buy yachts when I get the fever. Wine cooler spill on my white t-shirt, the sightseer. Trifecta money, morals, and culture. That's my leisure. My visa, passport tatted, that's your hub in a pizza.
Not more than 15 words were said by Ab Soul
Crazy.
during that entire segment, but you could feel his presence the entire time, being a callback to the early days of TDE. Before Kendrick's rise, Ab Soul was a lyrical genius. He was a thought provoker, the one with the entendres. He was the glue behind TDE, and I personally believe that he influenced a lot of Kendrick's activism, as by all accounts, he was releasing modern day hippie music. But that's no disrespect to Ab Soul. He himself realized that along with Kendrick and J Rock, forming the group Black Hippie. However, we were still missing one person, and he wasn't going to let his presence be unfelt.
Yep.
Appearing the same way Kendrick did, with the absolute classic Collard Greens playing for his arrival, and now with the four of them on stage together, the chemistry was going crazy. It felt nostalgic, and for just a moment, it felt like they had never split.
Say what? Say what? Hey, down with the shit, drink this, pop this, down with the shit, down with the shit, drink this, pop this,
Down with the shit.
So I'm gonna get a little personal with you guys. Schoolboy Q happens to be my favorite rapper from TDE, even above Kendrick. It's gonna sound mad corny, okay? But back in high school, I used to go to Zoomies and PacSun to browse their bucket hats because I wanted to be more like Q. I used to watch all of his interviews. My favorites being the ones with him, A$AP Rocky, and Danny Brown. Followed him on Vine when he was still making fun of Mac Miller. Rest in peace, big dog. When I first started smoking bud, sorry, Mom. I imagined myself looking like this, and I'm not gonna lie, I did stop listening to him after he released Crash Talk, but Ohio and Time Killers have still been on repeat ever since Blue Lips dropped. Sorry for that tangent. He's influenced me, he's influenced my life, and I just wanted to give him his flowers. Their reunion on
he's fire,
stage cemented this event as a real West Coast moment. He was going fucking crazy, bro. Kendrick started rapping in Spanish.
They was popping this shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
And you could just feel all the energy from your screens. The concert felt alive, and they were just getting to
that part. Hey, let's go. That part.
There's a few people from TDE that we just didn't get to see on stage. Notably SZA, Isaiah Rashad, Sir, Zakari. We didn't even get to see Minecraft legend Baby Keem, Kendrick's cousin. But that's because it wasn't meant to be their night. It was a night for the West Coast, specifically for the people of LA. It was a night for the hitmakers. It was a night for the activists. It was a night for the culture, and it was a night for the ones who made it all happen. Kendrick and all his friends popped out. Q and Soul were crip walking, J Rock was hitting ad-libs, while all of them acknowledged Kendrick's title as King Kunta. Kendrick promises to hold it down for this mad city. You gotta stay humble or you'll end up like that. You can't really tell through this video, but throughout his performance, he'd let the crowd sing subliminals about Drake, which was honestly crazy to see, whether the crowd knew it or not. But when the beat for Like That went off, everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. They went bar for bar with Kendrick, and even with the music
song of the year,
you could still hear
song
them
of the year, bro.
in the fucking stream, dog. A whole arena dedicated to the hater agenda. It really does bring tears to my eyes.
I am moving my hating talent from certified Twitter troll to a professional licensed hater on YouTube. He said, I will now embark on a journey to become the world's biggest hater.
But don't you Forget about Dre. I'm not white. Kendrick's day one, and although I can't fully respect Dr. Dre, their set together undeniably proved his legacy. He was still Dre. It was nice seeing him happy and healthy after all these years, still supporting Kendrick and still putting on for the city of Compton, playing California Love in tribute to Tupac. It becomes an extra special moment when you realize baby Kendrick Lamar was there during the making of the music video for California Love, inspiring everything he's created till this day. So, to put it bluntly, this was a complete full circle moment. It was a form of poetry. And this impromptu event, having only 2 weeks to get everything together, it felt magical, felt more than a concert.
That shit was
And that's
hard,
when
bro.
Dr. Dre said,
I see dead people.
Kendrick's performance of Not Like Us was true cinematography. From the crowd work to the smooth dancing to the way the camera perfectly synchronized with his movements, the whole arena felt alive and they were ready to show it.
Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably
They boy the worst way, man. They boy.
After Not Like Us, he said he wasn't going to let anyone disrespect the West Coast, calling Drake out for using AI Tupac and Snoop Dogg for tailor-made freestyle. And what do you know? Kendrick has one very song that contains bars about these exact things. Can you guess which song Kendrick would play next? That's right, it was...
Let's try it again.
For the second performance, the crowd was out of their seat. He basically let them sing the entire song, joining in here and there. But it was mostly the crowd rapping along bar for bar. Again, finishing with the line,
trying to strike a chord.
and then chanting,
That's crazy, bro. Sick.
It really
I knew
beat all
Drake
those
was
bot
sick, bro.
allegations DJ Academics was randomly throwing out, and all the lies he started tweeting about Dave Free and Whitney Alford. Dave Free was an executive producer and creative director for the fucking
Yeah,
show.
like I
while
said, bro, he's low-key the reason Drake image got way more fucked up than it needed to be in that battle. Cause the way he was like, just the way he was during the battle was like, bro, come on, bro.
Whitney
Trying
and
to
the kids
gaslight everybody,
were
bro.
absolutely singing their hearts out to Not Like Us. So I hope that finally clears up all the accusations Drake and his OVHO member, Ack, were throwing around. But Kendrick also has a song that contains the very words, OVHO. Can you guess which song Kendrick would play next? That's right, he would say one more time before replaying Not Like Us yet again, but this time actually finishing the last two verses.
One more time.
He was spamming that motherfucker, bro.
Charm LaDonna and Storm DeBarge are the two beautiful, talented dancers seen on stage with him, who have also both performed at the Super Bowl, which goes to show you the incredible talent that comes out of Compton, not only in the form of these rappers, but also these dancers, these artists, these designers, these people who've influenced others worldwide with their own style. For the fourth performance, he brought back DJ Mustard, and would you happen to know what song DJ Mustard produced for Kendrick recently? That's right, the song Not Like Us was played yet again, but they were both joined by DeMar DeRozan and Russell Westbrook, who started crip walking on stage. Sadly, LeBron couldn't join them, but the past performers, the people representing LA, the Compton folk, the Bloods, the Crips, the Pyros, all joined them on stage. Everyone was united under one roof, singing one anthem in observance of Juneteenth, celebrating their culture, their holiday, and what they've curated throughout all these years. Kendrick turned a month-long hate festival to a love letter, a concert about peace and unity to get everyone together to have fun and celebrate this holiday. With Juneteenth now being recognized as a federal holiday and the snowball of its recent resurgence in mass media, it's finally become a day of mass celebration. of acceptance, and recognizing Black Americans for their contributions to this world. Kendrick gave an impromptu emotional speech, which I suggest you go hear in full for yourself, but he invited up all the people he could think of from LA, first paying respects to the fallen, then to the ones who were on stage, and finally to the people for making this all possible. It wasn't about no diss tracks, it wasn't about the beef. This was a night to celebrate everyone and what they've achieved, and how
Facts, bro.
far they'll go from here. They then take a group photo, which instantly became a piece of hip hop history. It wasn't
Yep.
something they planned on, but everything just kept falling into place that night. And it just felt like the perfect opportunity to capture a moment they'll most likely never forget. The photo itself was reminiscent of the Great Day in Atlanta, a day in which most of the rappers from the city of Atlanta gathered for a group photo. Now, all we need is for New York rappers to stop getting arrested and killing each other so that we can have a moment like this. To end off the night, he'd play that one song celebrating the West Coast. Can you guess what song that might possibly be? That's right, he would play Not Like Us back to back while everyone around him celebrated the event. We had a 7-year-old blood walking, every gang sign known to man being thrown out, dance battles, and you know it's a great time when that one fat dude takes off his shirt.
Freaky ass nigga, he is 69.
69 God.
Freaky ass
Freaky ass
nigga, he
nigga,
is
69 God.
hey.
Run for your life. Hey, run for your life.
Freaky ass nigga, he is. Hey, fuck it up. Fuck it up. Fuck it up.
Even though Not Like Us was about Drake, during the moment, it didn't feel like it. It felt like a rallying song for Black Americans to take back their culture from those who vultured into it. I know, ironic. It was a song of triumph, and everyone on stage recognized it for being bigger than a Drake diss. It was what united and restored the West Coast. The pop out wasn't an ordinary concert. It didn't feel like a Rolling Loud event. It wasn't an award show. It was a cultural moment. It was held on Juneteenth, a day celebrating Black emancipation and Black excellence. It was intimate. It was held at the Forum when SoFi Stadium was right next door. It was electrifying. The workers themselves have never seen a concert quite like it. The event was celebrated all over social media, with live tweets going up as a live stream went on. People were finally viewing Los Angeles as essential to not only hip hop, but music in general, the culture we indulge in, and whatever else lies within it. Snoop Dogg crowned him the King of the West. Ice-T applauded Kendrick Lamar for the potential gang truce, which he deems as a cure to cancer. Power 106 temporarily rebranded to Kendrick 106, playing his music all day long, and he broke the most amount of minutes watched for an Amazon Music video production. Last thing, do y'all remember the 2014 XXL freestyle where Ty Dolla $ign asked, "Who pussy is this?" She said Dolla $ign. Well, Steve Lacy parodied that on a TikTok, and would later take a photo with Ty Dolla $ign captioning it, "Y'all know I'm from Compton, right?" It was truly the victory lap everyone was hyping it to be. But that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed this little mini doc. This was technically part 2.5, so don't kill me. Just because you guys have been so kind to me, I'm working on the real part 3, so stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, check out my other videos. Consider subscribing, hitting that like button. But until
give him more. Hey, give this man a subscribe, man. This was dope. That was a really dope documentary type video, bro. And you know what I'm saying? Road to 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right, man. Sometimes we gotta pop out.